China is just, it's so vast. You look at it on a map and think, there is no way I can even begin to grasp this in one trip. But here's the thing we found from all our sources. For a first-timer, a really focused 2-week trip isn't just manageable. It might actually be the best way to get a real, unforgettable taste of the country.
That's the absolute key. You have to be targeted. I mean, our mission today is really to cut through all that noise online.
Yeah.
And just distill it down to the essentials. You know, the perfect itinerary, the logistics you have to know, and the critical cultural hacks that turn those 14 days into a genuinely deep experience.
Without getting completely overwhelmed.
Exactly, without that feeling of being blindsided by culture shock.
So for this deep dive, we've been pulling insights from veteran travel experts, tour guides, journalists, people who live and breathe this region. And we're going beyond just, a list of landmarks. We're focusing on the core places, but also the variations, like do you want pandas or high-altitude serenity? And the non-negotiable practical stuff you have to know before you go. We're talking everything from the Great Firewall to public restrooms.
For any first-time visitor, the foundation, the absolute undeniable starting point for a 2-week trip has to be the Golden Triangle.
Okay, so that's Beijing, Xi'an, and Shanghai.
That's it.
And why that specific combination? What makes those three so mandatory?
Because together, they're basically the ultimate time machine. You spend about 3 to 5 days in each city, and you immediately get the entire arc of China's story.
Okay.
So Beijing is your imperial and political heart, the Forbidden City, the Great Wall. Then, boom, you're in Xi'an, standing in front of the Terracotta Warriors. I mean, that's pre-Common Era stuff.
Wow.
And when your head is full of ancient history, you land in Shanghai, and it just throws you head first into the 21st century. The Bund, the skyscrapers, it perfectly frames that collision of old and new that defines China today.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense for the first week. You've got your history, you've got your modernity. So how do you use that second week? The most classic itinerary seems to balance all that with nature.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To really feel the diversity of the landscape, you add 2 major natural highlights. First, you head to Zhangjiajie.
Those are the Avatar Mountains, right?
The very same.
Good.
Those incredible, dramatic sandstone pillars. It's just breathtaking. Then you head south to Guilin and Yangshuo for a completely different vibe. That softer, iconic beauty of the karst landscapes along the Li River. It's much more relaxing.
That's a powerful contrast. And speaking of the Great Wall, I loved the tip our sources gave about customizing that visit. It's not just one experience.
Not at all.
If you're an active traveler, you might want to hike the Jinshanling to Simitai section. It's wilder, way less crowded.
Exactly. But if you're with family or you just want something easier, you go straight to Michianyu. It's fully restored. It has these amazing cable cars and the toboggan.
The toboggan ride down the mountain. You have to do it.
It's basically mandatory. It turns this serious historical site into just a really fun day out.
But what if mountains and hiking isn't your thing? What if you want to swap that nature week for something else?
Then you go for what we're calling the Panda and Comfort route.
Okay, I like the sound of that.
So instead of the Avatar Hills, you swap those spots for Chengdu. It's famous for, well, 2 things. A really laid-back city vibe and, of course, the giant pandas.
The pandas.
You pair that with a multi-day Yangtze River cruise, which usually starts from nearby Chongqing. It's a route that's all about comfort and unique wildlife.
And I remember reading that the panda experience itself can be pretty special. You can get closer than you'd think.
Oh, yeah. You can opt for a panda volunteer program. This isn't just watching from a distance. You're actually, making panda cakes, cleaning enclosures.
You're making panda cakes.
You're making panda cakes. It's a much deeper immersion than just snapping a quick photo.
All right, and for that final, maybe smaller group of travelers who are seeking something more spiritual, something high altitude.
Yeah.
That means Tibet.
Yes. But if Lhasa is on your list, you need to commit about 5 days just for that region. And this is where planning becomes absolutely critical.
Because of the altitude?
The altitude is no joke. Lhasa is at 3,650 meters. That's around 12,000 feet. You must take it easy on your first day, super relaxed pace. It's the only way to help mitigate altitude sickness.
And you should probably talk to your doctor before you go.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Especially if you're prone to it. But beyond that, there are logistical hurdles.
Like the permit.
The Tibet entry permit. You need to apply at least 2 weeks in advance, and it usually has to be through a prearranged tour. Also, be careful with timing. Tibet is often closed to foreign travelers in February and March.
Okay, so once the itinerary is locked in, you have to actually get between these cities. Which brings us to domestic travel.
And China's efficiency here is just It's world class. For any trip under, say, 6 or 7 hours, high-speed trains are the way to go.
Why is that?
The stations are in the city centers, not miles outside like airports. Boarding is quick, automated, and the seats are way more comfortable. It's just easier.
So why would anyone even bother with a flight then?
Well, for the really long hauls. If a train ride is pushing 8 or 9 hours, or you're trying to cross a huge distance, like from Beijing way out west, a flight is really the only practical choice to save time.
Speaking of huge distances, we have to talk about the time zone. This fact is just wild to me. China is geographically massive. It should span 5 time zones, but it only has one.
China Standard Time, UTC +8. It's a political decision for unity, and it creates this fascinating social adjustment.
So what does that actually mean on the ground?
It means that when the sun rises at 7 a.m. in Shanghai on the East Coast, it might still be pitch black in Xi'an, 1,300 kilometers to the west, even though the clocks say the same time.
So people out west are starting their workday in the dark.
Pretty much. Official noon might feel like 10 a.m. It totally changes the rhythm of daily life. When people eat, when businesses open, it's a subtle but huge cultural difference you'll experience.
And from those high-speed trains, you might see something else that's really peculiar. The ghost cities.
Yes, this is one of those visible contradictions. You'll see these massive, empty high-rise apartment complexes that were built to move people out of overcrowded cities.
But no one's there.
Exactly. They were often built without the schools, the hospitals, the shopping centers. The infrastructure couldn't keep up with the construction, so they just stand there, these silent monuments to rapid growth.
So once you actually arrive in one of these massive cities, getting around is its own challenge.
It is. The easiest, most comfortable way is a private car and driver, especially if you have luggage. But taxis are also everywhere, they're regulated, and pretty inexpensive.
Just have the address ready in Mandarin.
You must have it written down or on your phone, because you can't count on English.
Which brings us perfectly to the digital challenge. Connectivity is everything, and you need to prepare for the Great Firewall.
This is a big one. The government uses this technology to block access to a ton of Western sites. Think Google, Facebook, Instagram, Gmail. They just don't work.
Okay, let's be really clear about this for everyone listening. You must get a VPN, a virtual private network, set up and working on your phone before you leave home. Why is that so important?
Because once you're in China, the websites where you would buy or download a VPN, they might be blocked too.
Ah, so you could be completely stuck.
You could be totally cut off. That VPN is your digital lifeline.
And beyond the VPN, what's the one app you absolutely have to have?
WeChat. It's not optional. Download it immediately. It's the Swiss Army knife of daily life there.
Yeah.
You use it for messaging, for paying for things with WePay.
Yeah.
It's even your search engine since Google's out.
And there was a little catch with setting it up, right?
Yes. For the payment part, you often need someone who's already a user to validate your account. It's something to coordinate with your guide or a friend as soon as you can.
Because without it, you're going to have trouble with money.
You are.
So let's talk money. You need to bring local currency, the yuan or RMB. But here's the kicker. The country is mostly cashless, but not in a way you're used to. International credit cards are not widely accepted.
Trying to use your Visa or MasterCard in a small shop or at a street vendor is probably not going to work.
So you're stuck.
You're stuck. You have to rely on cash for small things or, ideally, get that WePay set up on WeChat. You'll see locals paying for everything with their phones. You need to be able to do the same.
And this brings up a really important cultural point about money. Tipping.
Okay, let's be very clear.
Yeah.
Tipping is not customary. In some situations, it can even be seen as a little offensive.
So don't leave cash on the table for your server.
Do not.
Yeah.
But, on the other hand, if you're in a market, bargaining is totally normal and expected, just not in, a big shopping mall or a restaurant.
All right, let's shift to people. You have to be prepared for crowds. There are over 1.4 billion people. Tourist sites are going to be packed.
But despite the crowds, the country is surprisingly safe. And this is often linked to the ubiquitous facial recognition and cameras. They are everywhere.
That's a whole other topic. But one thing you should be prepared for as a Western traveler is becoming a minor celebrity.
Ah, yes. Especially outside the big 3 cities. People might discreetly take photos of you or even come right up and ask for a selfie. It's usually just friendly curiosity.
Okay, let's get into the frank reality of hygiene. Things you just need to know.
2 critical things. First, do not drink the tap water. Ever. Hotels will always give you bottled water. Second, be mentally prepared for squat toilets.
Even in nice places.
Even in airports and malls, they're very common, which means you must, and I mean always, carry your own toilet paper and hand sanitizer.
And there's a really important rule about what to do with that toilet paper.
This is vital. Used paper goes into the little waste bin next to the toilet. It does not get flushed.
Because the plumbing can't handle
The
it.
plumbing cannot handle it.
Yeah.
You will cause a big problem if you forget. Just look for the bin. It will be there.
All right, so if you're going to spend that $6,000 to $10,000 on this trip, when is the best time to go?
The consensus is definitely fall. September and October. You get mild temperatures, clear skies. It's just perfect. Spring, so March to May, is a very close second.
And there's a crucial warning here about when not to go.
Yes. Avoid the golden weeks at all costs. That's the first week of May and the first week of October, also Chinese New Year and the summer school holidays.
Why?
Prices for everything, hotels, flights can literally double. And the crowds at places like the Great Wall just become unbearable. It's not a pleasant experience.
Let's nail down that cost again. For a good quality private 2-week tour, we're talking 4 or 5-star hotels, all your domestic travel, guides, food. You're looking at about $220 to $350 per person per day.
Right, so that works out to roughly $6,000 to $10,000 total for a couple. And remember, that does include your big international flight to get there.
Before we wrap, we have to talk about the food. I mean, we've covered the logistics, but the food is a huge part of the experience.
Oh, it's staggering. The variety is insane. You've got the spicy, tongue-numbing Sichuan food, the absolute institution that is Peking duck in Beijing, and then the delicate soup dumplings of Shanghai.
The xiaolongbao, there's a technique to that, isn't there? You can't just bite into it.
No, absolutely not. You'll burn your mouth. You have to pick it up gently, put it on your spoon, bite a tiny hole in the side, suck the hot soup out, and then eat the dumpling.
It's an art form.
It's a survival skill.
This has been an amazing deep dive. We've covered how you can actually traverse that vastness, taking you from the ancient terracotta army right up to the super futuristic Shanghai Tower. You're armed with the cultural hacks like the VPN and the squat toilet strategy. You're ready.
And what's so fascinating is how every single day you're reminded that China is both breathtakingly old and, at the same time, shiny and new.
Yeah.
You see artifacts from before the Common Era, and then you ride a maglev train. It's that constant contrast.
Yeah.
Which brings up a final thought for you to consider. When you're planning your own visit, how do you intentionally make time to engage with both? Not just the ancient culture, but also the hyper-modern tech that runs daily life. You need to make sure you're not just seeing landmarks, but you're truly witnessing that collision of the past and the future. So how will you approach those two different realities on your own journey?